We started this company because after a dozen years or so building wind farms around the country, we just came to the realization that you can't keep building wind farms unless you build the wires to get that energy to market. And that's what our company does. It's a pretty simple idea that, hey, you got all this wind here, you got these large electric loads over here, you got to connect the two.
If you provide the links from the best resource to population centers, then you become a catalyst for wind power and cheap renewable resource to be a much bigger part of the country's future.
We're using high voltage direct current technology, which is the most efficient way to move power a long distance. We need about a third of the right-of-way that you would need to move a comparable amount of energy with alternating current lines.
Where the rubber meets the road is actually talking to landowners and people whose terrain you might cross over, and you need to get permission to do that, and you need to figure out how you're going to do it in a way that's responsible, and if possible, that is going to have a very positive impact, not just on the people that produce the power at one end or consume it at another, but on all the people in between.
The Plains and Eastern Clean Line originates in the Oklahoma Panhandle, goes across Oklahoma and Arkansas, and terminates outside Memphis, Tennessee, to gather up wind resources and move that energy to the southeastern United States.
For Oklahoma, it's continuing to really exploit those tremendous energy resources that they have. They've done that with oil, they've done that with natural gas, now they're going to be able to do it with wind.
Everything needs transmission. And our product now is going to be the wind, and we need transmission, we need to get it out, we need to sell it. It wouldn't be any different than a cattle truck or a wheat truck. We'd like to take the product to the market.
In the past, the way we get coal energy to market is we put it on a train and we move it to the coal plant. If you want to get natural gas to market, you put it in the pipeline, you move it to market. This is a new challenge. How do you get renewable energy to market? Well, you use wires to do that.
Without the transmission to get it out of here, we're going to be limited in the amount of capacity that we can install in the area. So Clean Line has a very innovative and strategically important concept to be able to deliver this wind-generated electricity to the load centers to the east.
People don't realize how much product is actually exported out of the city of Guymon. So wind energy would just be another thing that you would export out.
And really, it's just an easement. Very, very few acres are lost in transmission. You know, we can live with it, farm with it, and ranch around it.
The Plains and Eastern Clean Line is a long-distance, high-voltage direct current transmission line that's going to allow for thousands of megawatts of new wind farms to be built in western Oklahoma and then be exported and transmitted to markets that don't have access to renewable energy right now in the southeast and the mid-south.
Arkansas is in a really interesting place geographically, okay? And Arkansas sits between this incredible resource and major electric load centers in the southeastern United States.
We actually were able to find a worldwide manufacturer that produces the wires that carry the power over the lines in Malvern, Arkansas. We want to buy all the conductor from this facility because it's in the state where a lot of the transmission line is going to be built.
This project's a big one. Based on today's commodity prices, the business for General Cable is about $100 million. It's over 25 million conductor feet of transmission cable, all of which will be made right here in our Arkansas plant.
The Clean Line project, you know, that's 25 million feet of cable that's really going to help us in the state of Arkansas as far as new jobs. It can create jobs all over the state.
The renewable energy is about expanding the grid, about taking renewable resources which are located in remote areas and creating a grid to transmit them to populous areas. And now you have turbine manufacturers, blade manufacturers, all locating plants here in the U.S., creating jobs, creating opportunity for an industry that we need here to support our energy generation.
Arkansas has a lot to gain from the Plains and Eastern Clean Line. Not only does it help bring cleaner energy to Arkansans, it also helps provide jobs for Arkansans through construction, through things like our partnership with General Cable, through regular construction jobs, but also just more broadly because we're really enabling the wind energy and the clean energy market to create a lot more demand for the turbines, for the gears, for the blades that are made in Arkansas.
You want these factories to keep rolling, you want these trucks to keep going, you want these rail lines going, then, hey, transmission is a good thing.
We spent an enormous amount of time reaching out to stakeholders in Arkansas, in Oklahoma, in Tennessee, making sure that we understand their concerns and how we can address them. For people in Tennessee and throughout the TVA region, it's about finding a balance between the different energy resources so they can continue to have a high quality of life by having a larger component of their power come from renewable energy resources. And for folks in Memphis, it's about continuing to grow as a hub. Memphis is the hub for FedEx, and so that's where all their planes in North America fly into at night and fly out of so they can get things to the rest of the world overnight.
Their CEO is very conscious of the fact that FedEx uses a ton of energy, and they're doing everything that they can to reduce their carbon footprint.
And we fit into that because we really want to make the Memphis area a renewable energy hub, a place where this economical wind power comes in from the Great Plains, and from there is able to utilize the existing transmission network and go out throughout the Mid-South and Southeast.
If you build infrastructure, you're going to create jobs. It's our job as developers to put together all the pieces so that we can build that infrastructure. And the key, in our view, to getting this infrastructure built is for state and federal regulatory agencies to act on this stuff and to move it forward. The sooner we can line up those pieces, then the sooner we can get about the business of helping put people back to work.
The cheapest renewable power is onshore wind in the middle of the Great Plains. There's not a lot of people there, and there's not a way to get it from there to where most of the people live. So you have to build the bridge and get it to where there's a lot more people. And that's what all of this is about.
We are not looking for public financing for our projects. We're just looking for the right framework in which we can invest. Then you'll see billions of dollars of new investment in clean energy sources. And that's the exciting part of what we're doing.